Hello everyone and welcome to Selective Preparation Power Thinking Skills Test 54. We have 10 selected questions in this test. Let's get started. Okay, so this first question, based on the 3D shape below, which of the following best represents this view from above? So it will be rotated in different ways, as you can see, but you need a place especially where these more narrow columns kind of fit in terms of that top view. So I would recommend first of all isolating maybe this part here. Okay, so if you look at it from a top view, you'll have this T shape, okay, but you'll also have this attachment to the end of the T shape. You can see some of them missing that. Example, this one doesn't have it, so C is out. This one has it in the wrong place, so A is out. And you can work through by doing that for all of the other parts as well. For example, this part is directly opposite, so it'll be here, and it has like a big section, and then a small section, and then two big sections. You can see that's well represented by D. It has this part and this part, which is why it's the answer. Okay, the letter codes 2316 blah 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 represents 3 out of 4. The number 1783 represent which word? So what I like to do is find a letter or number that is in most of the given codes. Okay, so for example here, these two start with 2. Okay, so you want to look at the beginnings. You can see that only 2 of the codes start with 2. So that means 2 must be an L. Okay, we don't know which one's which yet, but we do know that this one should not have an L, right? Because there's no 2 in that code, which means ATLE is out. And this must be SREM. Now using that, we can fill in the rest. So that means this last code must end with an S. So it must be LEAS. And this code must be the other one, LTRA. Okay. Now we can basically figure out what this thing is. 1783. 1 is R. 7 is E. 8 is S. And 3 is T. So that's why the answer is B. Question 3. So millionaire, that's a pun, right? Millionaire has a large granny flat that can be hired for business events. She has a time limit of 3 hours and can take maximum of 20 people. Which option is the cheapest per person to hire? So we are going to go through all of these options, and you can actually cancel out some if you feel like it's already cheaper. Okay, so 1 hour for 16 people. 1 hour 16 will be in here, so it's 320. 1 hour 30 for 15 people. 1 hour 30 for 15, 285. 2 hours for 10 people. 2 hours for 10, 250. So we're just going to write the total first and divide by people later. 3 hours for 12 people. 3 hours for 12 be 360. So now you just divide by the number of people there. Some make easy like this one. This would be 20 per person, right? This one, 285 divided by 15 goes in once. 135. Maybe let's try 8. 8 fives are 40. 120. Let's try 9. 9 fives are 45. There we go. That's 19 per person. So already A is out, right? C divided, you get 25 per person. PP for per person. This one you get 30 per person. So that's why B is your answer. Six friends are standing in a circle in a classroom facing inwards. So let's map that out. Abby is standing to the left of Bridget and is opposite Carl. Okay, so if Abby is standing here, remember they're all facing inwards. This is the nose, the eyes, okay, facing inwards. What is the left of somebody, of Bridget? If Abby's to the left of Bridget, this must be Bridget, right? Because that's her left. And Abby's opposite Carl. Okay, Carl's here. Dexter's facing Esther and is standing next to Bridget, right? So the only space left for Dexter is here and is facing Esther, which means Fiona must be here. Okay, so that's the round order. Doesn't matter if A isn't at the top for you because it's a circle, okay? Doesn't matter where they are, but I guess the relative location to each other. They've been playing a game in which they throw a ball to one another in a specific pattern. Someone throws the ball to the person opposite, then they pass to the friend on their left. In the first round, after 3 repetitions of this pattern, Carl is holding the ball. Who was holding the ball at the start? Okay, so the pattern is opposite, then to the left. So if we want to go backwards, we're going to first throw to the right, trace back to the right, and then go opposite. Okay, we ended with Carl. Okay, we have ended with Carl. So Carl's facing inwards. We're going to go to the right and then opposite. Now we're at Bridget. So that's 1. Okay, and now go right of Bridget and then opposite. We get Esther. That's 2. Last round, Esther's right would be this way. So it's Abby, and then throw it back, and now it's Carl. So it actually has come all the way back to Carl after 3 reps. Question 5. Not all people at festivals were musicians, but all musicians at the festival were competent. All the musicians at the festival were also mechanics. None of the people at the festival were lawyers. Now Brad says, if someone at the festival was a mechanic, they must also be a musician. What is a mistake? The line that Brad is picking that up on is this. All of the musicians at the festival were also mechanics, okay? Remember, not all the people at the festivals were musicians. Okay, so if someone at the festival was a mechanic, does not mean they have to be a musician. So that's why B is the answer. Okay, a shop made a list of its most popular products. After selling 120 products, these were the results. No other products were sold. The table above was made into a pie graph. However, one of the products was left out. This was the consequent pie chart. Which product was left out? So we have to put it over a total of 120 and try and think about the percentage that it occupies, okay? So for example, for bananas, 49 over 20, or 120. I want to just say 50 over 120, okay, just because we just want an approximate, which is like 5 over 12. You might know that 6 over 12 is half, okay, so 5 over 12 is a pretty big proportion, yeah? But it's not more than 50% of the chart, okay? And that means that the remaining 2 products must have a total number less than the bananas. So if we put, if we took milk out, for example, though, if I took one of them out, it will no longer be over 120, right? So for example, if I took milk out, 120 minus 35, that's 95, right? So then it'll be 49 over 95, which is definitely bigger than half. And that's why this would work, okay? How did I know to take out milk, which is the actual answer? You have to try it with all of them. If I took out chocolate, it would still not be enough to occupy such a big proportion of the graph like it did. The only way it would work is if I took out milk, okay? You could try it with the other stuff as well. It's all about the ratio between the top and the bottom, okay? Also, just you can take a read of this if you still don't understand by pausing the video now. Okay, so question 7, deduction work. Jenny, Kia, Lewis, and Mina each had 3 shots in a dart game. Kia scored 11, Louis missed 1 and scored 10, and Mina scored 17. All 4 zones of the target have a different point for each whole number of points. Middle zone is the most worth. In each zone is worth fewer than the one inside it. What did Jenny score? So we need to try and find what how the scoring works, right? Kia scored 11. Now Louis missed 1 and scored 10. If you see for Louis, he has 2 in the same zone. And both of them must have the same points. So you can do 10 divided by 10 divided by 2, and you can get 5. So that means this zone just outside must be worth 5. Okay. Now Mina scored 17. You can see that Mina is a very similar case, except she has 2 on the 5 zone and 1 in the middle. So that middle one must be 7. Okay, the middle is 7. Let's actually draw our own up. And we set 5. Because 2 of them is 10, and then we get 5 in the middle. So we know that this is 7, this is 5, and now we can keep going out. So for Jenny, we don't know what Jenny scored. We know Kia scored 11. Okay. So 7, and then you have this one and this one left, right? How do I get to 7 from 11? That's a plus 4. Remember, you can't do 2 and 2, okay, because each of the ones on the inside must be bigger than the ones on the outside. So the only way is 3 and 1, okay? So it goes 7, 5, 3, and 1. That's a scoring system. So what did Jenny score? We have 1 in the middle, so that's 7. 1 on the second middle, okay, from the middle is 5, and 1 more out, which is 3. Plus it together, 3 plus 7 is 10. 15 is the answer, or option D. Okay, question 8. Let's highlight. John wants his famous baker to be awarded the Rochelle Star. Requires you to have a win at the Because d'Or baking competition. To even have a chance of being awarded, you must win. To win at this, it requires exceptional skill and innovation in the baking field, multiple categories, and only the famous bakeries have a possibility of receiving an invite. John's Bakery is practicing for their first Because d'Or while waiting for the invitation and is well known for their innovative breads. Which of the following is not possible if the information above is true? The answer here is D. Okay, D says John's Bakery gets awarded a Rochelle Star on the day of receiving an invitation to Because d'Or, and that's because remember you can't have been awarded because they haven't completed the Because d'Or yet, and you have to win the Because d'Or competition to be awarded the Rochelle Star. Just after inviting them, they haven't even attended yet, therefore you can't be awarded straight away. Okay. A, B, C, the explanation for why these ones are possible is here. Pause the screen now if you'd like to read. Now this is the last question. The code to open a safe door in the escape room is a sequence of 4 pictures in a row. You found the following clues of the code. The bucket is next to the star. The marble is somewhere between the bucket and the table. The star is somewhere to the right of the table. You have a choice out of 4 possible questions asked, and when the question has been answered, you must deduce the code. Which of the following would allow you to deduce the code? Okay, so let's think about the possible order right now, okay? So the bucket is next to the star. The marble is somewhere between the bucket and the table. So I'm going to put the bucket here and the table here. Table and bucket, okay? And then the bucket is next to the star. Marble is somewhere between bucket and table. So we can have marble here, for example. The star is somewhere to the right of the table. Okay, so you can have marble, star, bucket like that, or table, marble, bucket, star. Okay, so those are the 2 possible orders. And to figure out which way it is, you can ask about the marble and the star being next to each other or not, which is B. Okay, so key points from this test. Let's talk today about the coding questions. Okay, coding questions. Try and look for similarities in the number codes. Okay. And assess if the letter codes also have the same pattern of similarities. This will help you solve out the question quickly and efficiently. Okay, so that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. I will see you in the next one. Take care.